The overseas production of Dragon Ball Z was the creation of the, for the time, brand new Funimation, now known for producing a wide range of popular anime. Due to a lack of finances, Funimation teamed up with Canadian-based Ocean Productions for much of the first 2 seasons' localization process. This resulted in a great deal of inconsistencies between episodes 1 to 53 and those that followed. Characters were recast, music was changed, and so on. Plus, of course, then there's the censorship. Although Funimation did go back and rework these episodes much later in 2005. Now, on the other hand, many areas outside of the US would, in fact, later become reacquainted with Ocean. Canada's broadcasting laws restricted non-Canadian media with steep financial expenses, and the Canadian distributor, who was additionally the distributor of English-language European versions, went for the cheaper option. But all of that is a story for another day. So then, back to the original 53 episodes, and in particular, the censored content prohibited for all non-Japanese fans. The first thing to clear up would actually be the amount of episodes we're referring to. You see, whilst the first 2 seasons consisted of 53 episodes for Ocean's version, these were a highly edited form of Japan's original 67. For reference, we will only be specifying the corresponding episode numbers for the Ocean dub. To begin with episode 1, a lick of censorship paint was added to the very first scene. The farmer scene here was actually smoking originally. Also, after having their bullet deflected back and blasting them away, the Japanese version's farmer does not murmur dialogue whilst lying motionlessly. The edited release decided to add this in. Perhaps to indicate that the farmer had not been killed. Now, a lot of you have probably seen this famous comparison before. I mean, who did they think they were fooling with Roshi's Frothy Mug of Water? Of course, this was in fact a recolored mug of beer. Moments later, and we have our first clear case of a scene being completely cut, and not due to time restrictions. Roshi proves that he's not changed much since the last time he and Bulma met by trying to cup a feel of her breast.
そんなに気を使わんでもよいのに。わしゃこのおっぱいをちょっとだけ触らせてくれ。相変わらずガブの通じんやつじゃ。相変わらずスケベなやつじゃ。
Leading, of course, to him getting whacked aside the head and called a pervert. Still, in the first episode for the non-Japanese release, and even more sexuality was censored. This time during Goku's flashback sequences. One of these covers their genitalia with underwear. The other also censors baby Goku's bits, but this time with a splash of water. Before moving on, now would be a good time to mention a common type of censorship that plagued the Ocean dubs. References to death, such as the words die and kill, would be modified and made child-friendly. But strangely, this censorship did not occur during the first 3 episodes, as seen here.
This isn't good. I smell death in the air.
However, perhaps to add consistency, the home video and DVD releases by Pioneer would go back and censor these omissions despite them being included on TV. Here's how the previously shown scene was edited.
This isn't good.
In a very rare case of skipping an episode due to the lack of any censorship-based editing, we will now be covering episode 3. Piccolo may have green skin, but that doesn't mean his blood isn't red. But only in Japan. Also, the shot of the puddle of blood was drastically reduced in length. At multiple points in the battle, the fighters can sometimes be seen bleeding, although whilst the example shown here was actually not censored, various other injuries were toned down or removed. Even sounds relating to violence got the snip. The bone-crushing sounds heard here were removed in the Ocean dub. Violence against children also came under fire, with this hard backhand which sends Gohan flying being cut out of the Western release. Episode 4 sees lots of censorship based around blood and death. The special beam cannon attack looked like this on TV outside of Japan. But its original broadcast showed the beam blast straight through their bodies and the graphic wounds it inflicts. Following this, the fatally wounded Raditz is seen with blood around his mouth and the nearby grass which was removed. Goku's injuries are treated similarly, with multiple shots of the large chest wound being cut. Then there's the sight of Raditz's corpse, which is represented by the lack of pupils in his eyes. This scene was taken out completely. And additionally, when Goku vanishes, there should be even more blood on the ground underneath his body. And closing up today's comparison is one more case of Ocean trying to disguise the fact that characters had died. When Krillin takes the equipment from Raditz's face, you can actually see him do so in the Japanese version. But everywhere else had the brief shot showing Raditz's lifeless face cut out. As always, thanks for watching. Censored Gaming is the definitive resource for censorship. Make sure you have subscribed to stay up to date with the latest from Censored Gaming. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. I'm just kidding, but if you'd like to hear more from me, check me out right here on YouTube at youtube.com/TheBlackLink. I play tons of games, hold live streams, and generally love your face. So if you're down with that, you can find my channel by hitting that annotation link at the bottom right. Alright, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. As always, I am TheBlackLink. You guys stay frosty.